your desk. It looks like his name is Ozzy.
Yes, and apparently he rules.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
So I just got this article from Variety from Mike Ayers, and it's very interesting to me. John Boyega, of course, played Finn in the sequel trilogy, and he had a lot to complain about how his character was treated. But now he comes out with, he would have kept Han and Luke alive in Star Wars if he was the producer. The characters would have been given way more. And then there would have been a soft handoff of the baton, probably to more than one kid. To, what you do is you take George's ideas, you combine them with some of the good stuff in the EU, and then you add your own sort of thing to it. You synthesize it through the story writing process, and you come up with a very dignified way of dealing with the legacy characters that doesn't ruin them. I'm shocked Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill did not walk off the set of the Farce Awakens, because you look back on it and you just kind of look around going, what a shitty fucking movie. Seriously, you might have made $2 billion or whatever, but the movie sucked, right? They took those characters and then sucked them dry instead of doing the right thing. Okay, that is bullshit. These people deserved better. And I'm going to say this. I think one of Mark Hamill's issues, why he's been acting so crazy, isn't because of Trump. It's because what Kathleen Kennedy allowed to happen to Luke in The Last Jedi. John Boyega knows why the fans are mad. That's why this article's out there. That's why he was at FloridaCon talking about it, right? And I'm like, he's right. Cameron has been saying this. I have been saying this ad nauseum since I saw The Last Jedi. What the fuck did I just see? And the Pablo Hidalgos at Lucasfilm think it was fine. No, it wasn't. And they talk about wanting new characters. Their characters suck. See, another problem is that people like Hidalgo's egos write checks their lack of talent can't cash. It's true, right? To borrow that phrase from Top Gun. And it's they don't understand that there's more there's more to it than what they put into it. And whether you agree with me or not, I don't care. When you open up the novels, the first three movies, and you look at the prequels, there is a deep story there, right? It's not how many cool things can we put into a movie and make a lot of money, which is what they did. And they hurt the fans, they hurt the characters, they hurt the franchise going forward. And what I believe is Boyega has heard the fans. He's probably watched videos and understands what the fans are going through, right? And understands that we were left without. He understands the disrespect to, Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher, by the way. But let's talk about poor decisions. Let's talk further.
In keeping with the trusty adage, starve a cold, disgust a fever.
What an odd combination of odors. Smells like a fish died and all the other fish sent flowers.
That is one big pile of shit. Worst the planet's ever seen, but you wield it like a kid that's found his dad's gun.
It's hardly appropriate to start hurling generalizations.
If I may, I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
So what we have here is John Boyega calling out, basically, the head of Lucasfilm because of the poor decision-making. And it comes right down to storytelling, like I said. Now, if you look at Ian Malcolm, he's talking about cloning and genetic engineering, which is, in my opinion, scary fucking stuff. And that's the first Jurassic Park. That's Steven Spielberg, right? Michael Crichton. Anyway, Malcolm is saying you stood on the shoulders of giants, stole what they did, slapped it on a lunchbox, and poof. You didn't stop to think if you should do it, right? Same thing with Kennedy. Same thing with J.J. Abrams. Same thing with Rian Johnson, Larry Kasdan, Chris Terrio, and the Walt Disney Company itself. You can't write Star Wars, first off, without George Lucas. And you can't get people to like what you're doing if you ruin the original characters. Here's the thing they don't realize, because these assholes don't think this way. You took characters that fans like us believed are heroes. They were our heroes. And instead of doing right by them, you decided, I'm going to just ransack it and make a lot of money on it. And they didn't, because their decision-making made it impossible for fans to want to go see these movies. Don't care if they all made over $1 billion or not. The last two Skywalker Saga movies did not even come close to what Disney projected for them. Okay, like by $1 billion. Those are fans who did not go to it anyway after The Force Awakens, and they weren't going to buy the merchandise. I mean, when you've got Rey the Bestest Evar basically being just pilloried by the fans, and her Last Jedi action figures hanging on pegs at fucking alleys, you've got a problem. And Kathleen Kennedy would never, ever admit that she has a problem with this. These two guys with Rosario Dawson are going to fix what was broken. And what I think, and this is just me speculating, is that Boyega knows what's going on. And he knows they're going to change the sequel trilogy. And he knows what they're going to do. So he decided, what the hell, I'm going to go out and say what I would do. And because it's what John and Dave are probably going to do. John is a big Star Wars fan, like I am. Dave is too. Now, Dave is a sequels guy, but it doesn't matter. They need to fix the franchise, okay? First off, you've got a narrative from Gary Beekler and the rest of the grifting assholes on YouTube that Star Wars is dead. And if you go to the Mando and Grogu teaser trailer, you get flying monkeys, Nerdrotics flying monkeys. They're saying all kinds of shitty things about a movie they've never seen because they've been programmed by the big YouTube channels not to like anything, all right? And, to be honest, these guys aren't even Star Wars fans, right? Now, here's something else. This came from a fan gossip website. They're actually looking to recast Rey. I might just do a video just on that. Okay. That's how bad the Rey movie is right now. The fans are like, no, we don't want it. Okay, they're just like, we don't want it. And, so now they're going, well, maybe, are they going, well, we can recast her? No, just don't even have her. Just put all that garbage in its own little world and move on with a new timeline that honors George Lucas's storytelling, his ideas, his imagination, that respects Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill. I mean, again, we all know what Mark Hamill went through, warning us that we wouldn't like The Last Jedi. And nobody likes The Last Jedi except for Molly Damon and the bitch she's married to. But to be honest, excuse me, I think that is just over money, right? I think that if Lucasfilm, went to them and saying, we're getting rid of Rey, well, first off, Molly Damon would have a heart attack. But I think they would change their tunes just to keep their in with Lucasfilm, all right? So I'm glad John said this. This is the first time I have seen any actor that had anything to do with Star Wars, anything to do at all, come out and say, we did bad by the original trilogy heroes. Okay, this tells me he knows something's going on with Ahsoka. Okay, my speculation. Anyway, guys, read the article in Variety. It's a short article. It's not long. And it's a fuck you to Kennedy. It really, really is. But I don't think she's popular at all with those actors. I really don't. I think, to be honest, we all know she's worn out her welcome. Anyway, just wanted to put this out there because it's a great article. This is Steph, signing out. See you around the galaxy.